What's going on, everybody? It's the Blockchain Raccoon, keeping you updated with the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Hope you all are having a fantastic weekend. I generally don't do videos on the weekend just because I like to chill out and relax, but man, I don't know, it's kind of bored right now. But I just wanted to touch on this. If you're looking to get into DeFi, or you're in DeFi, and you're just learning the ropes, and you want to become a liquidity provider with your tokens, you need to understand the risk involved. Because let me tell you, while liquidity provision is generally, it's a very worthwhile investment sometimes, but research is showing that Uniswap V3 LP providers would have been better off just holding their coins and hodling. Because the report shows 50% of Uniswap V3 liquidity providers are losing money. That's just insane. Now, this article here, the fintech advisory firm Topaz Blue, in conjunction with Bancor, recently published a report about impermanent loss, IL, on Uniswap V3. They discovered that 49.5% of liquidity providers had suffered negative returns due to IL, impermanent loss. Now, the report said that liquidity providers during the analysis period would have been better off if they just held their tokens. And if you're sitting here going, well, what is impermanent loss? Well, we'll get to that here. So, first off, Uniswap is a decentralized finance protocol for exchanging cryptocurrencies. The protocol carries out this function as an automatic market maker, AMM. This refers to smart contracts deployed on the blockchain using mathematical formulas to price assets. Now, this is instead of an order book method used by traditional centralized exchanges, which rely on pricing algorithms to facilitate the buying and selling process. AMMs work similarly to the order book method that there are trading pairs, for example, ETH/MATIC. But the main difference is with an AMM, you don't need a counterparty or another trader on the other side to make the trade. Instead, the interaction takes place with the smart contract that makes the market. To facilitate this, AMMs rely on liquidity pools, which are crowdsourced pools of tokens locked in a smart contract. And investors add their tokens to liquidity pools looking for returns. Now, IL, impermanent loss, happens when an investor adds liquidity to a liquidity pool and the price of the deposited asset changes compared to the price at the time of deposit. The more significant the difference, the more the permanent loss. However, trading fees are added to the liquidity pool, which can, in some cases, offset the IL, making the exposure to it worthwhile. At the same time, being a profitable liquidity provider depends on many variable factors, including the protocol, the pool, the deposited asset, and the current market conditions, making it a very risky venture in general. Now, Uniswap V3 has inherent risk associated with providing liquidity. Everything has risk to it. You just need to understand what you're doing, or you could get wrecked. But, I'm just pointing this out here, folks, because the research conducted by Topaz Blue states that there are inherent risks when providing liquidity to Uniswap V3. Now, their sampling covered 17 pools, which accounts for 43% of the total value locked in the protocol. They found that the total fees earned from $108.5 billion in trading volume from May 5th to September 20th were less than the total IL by $61 million. Now, the total fees earned since inception until the cutoff date was $199.3 million. And they also found that the total IL suffered by LPs during the period was $260.1 million. Oh, Jesus. Meaning that in aggregate, those liquidity providers would have been better off by $60.8 million had they simply hodled. An analysis showed of those 17 pools, 80% had IL greater than the fees earned, with only the WBTC USD/USDC pair, the Axis/W ETH, and the Phantom and Weth pools seeing net positive returns. The report concludes that users who decided to not provide liquidity can expect to grow the value of their portfolio at a faster rate versus an investor who is actively providing liquidity on Uniswap v3. So, like I said, there's just many factors when getting and being a liquidity provider. So, nobody can tell you what to do. Just know the risk of what you're getting involved in. That's all I've really got to say about that. Well, folks, I'm going to wrap up this short little video by stating that I am not a financial advisor. I am a little raccoon making YouTube videos about cryptocurrencies. Thanks for tuning in.
History is filled with almosts. With those who almost adventured, who almost achieved, but ultimately, for them it proved to be too much. Then there are others, the ones who embrace the moment and commit. And in these moments of truth, these men and women, these mere mortals, just like you and me, as they peer over the edge, they calm their minds and steel their nerves with 4 simple words that have been whispered by the intrepid since the time of the Romans. Fortune favors the brave.